All right, what's up, OBB?
Hello,
How's your day going, bro?
it's going great. What about
Well,
you?
it's going good, man. It's going good. I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you. I'm excited as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce my friend and fellow author, Jad Philippe. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, or Philip.
Jad Phillip. 10 points for Gryffindor. Um,
Yes.
Jad
20.
is the author of the Chosen and the Cursed series, the books The Jade Necklace, The Black Shards, The Book of Life, and The Crimson Crown, coming in December 7th, 2025. We are all so excited for it, bro.
I'm so happy you're excited. I'm excited too, by the way.
I imagine so, man. It's a long
Yeah.
time coming. How long ago did you start your series?
So I started writing the series, I think I would say like 12 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. It's been a journey, brother.
Yeah. So when it first started, it was something I think you would relate to this. It was like, what if my high school friends and I were to have an adventure like Harry Potter had? And it just like kept on changing and changing and evolving until we got to this product at the end of the day, to this story that you're seeing.
Wow. How long do you think it took to get to that world,
Well,
the one that we know today?
the final version of the Jade Necklace was actually done last summer, but luckily because I had already started working on the series for so long, I actually managed to release the Jade Necklace, the Black Shards, and the Book of Life back to back, like literally a few weeks apart, because the whole story was kind of done by then.
Oh my goodness. Um, if you could go back, would you change the way that you chose to release them, or would you still release them on their own?
Honestly, I think releasing the books a few weeks apart makes it so you won't have to wait for cliffhangers to be resolved because each book does end on a cliffhanger. And I think I'm lucky that I had all of these books ready to be released at once, almost at once, because like you remember what it's like waiting for the next book in a series that's never coming out. I'm looking at you, Winds of Winter. So it really drives people crazy. So this way, like whoever loves the Jade Necklace can just continue the whole story and find out how it ends without having to wait 2 years in between books. And I think that's really lucky for
Okay,
me.
that's fair.
Yeah,
I mean that makes sense in the way that you're still marketing the Jade Necklace, even though you're coming onto the fourth book,
yeah,
because your main focus is finding a reader that's going to be invested in all four. So that
yeah,
makes a lot of sense, and I think that's interesting. I feel like what we're taught because of what other people are doing on social media, what other people are doing for marketing. I feel like it's just you're expected to wait for the next book. You're expected to see the marketing and build the hype for the first one and then continue the second. And I felt like I definitely struggled when I was trying to market Eros because I needed to get people to go back and read Maximus, and getting them to read the first one before they could read the second one was difficult. But if you start from day one with an arc team that's like, hey, here, I got this one. If you want to stick on to the next one, I'm ready to go. You at least have like a continuation of the investment that reader has taken into your series, and you can just run with it. That's actually really clever.
it just happened. It wasn't on purpose. So
You're like, I just felt like putting it outside, did it, that's
that's
bing
why
bang boom, that's how I roll.
I feel like I'm lucky because it just it happened because I've been working on the story for years and it wasn't 4 books. It was 3 books. It was a trilogy and then it ends. And then the second book kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it was just huge. So I had to divide that up into like 2 books and so. And then you have the fourth book.
That was thoughtful of you and also very clever, to split a book into two, because it generates both sales
The
versus
Black
just one
Shards
single sale.
was huge. The Black Shards was huge. So
I
literally.
mean, there are books out there like Sarah J. Mass's 1,200 page, what's that beast called? The Kingdom of Ash. so you wouldn't be alone. It's
Yeah,
just
it's just I prefer smaller books because I want to feel like I can finish this. So because I'm still traumatized from reading Deathly Hollows in one night. So
I
like
think
I read it release night in one night. So that
that's
was
that's awesome, bro.
just stayed up all night to finish it. So
I
yeah.
mean, before we get into the origins and world building questions I put together, I need to ask, what house are you, bro?
Uh, technically, I would say so. Technically, I always thought I was a Gryffindor, but then I played Hogwarts Legacy, and I kind of picked Slytherin. I have no
They
idea
house
why.
Did you
Yeah,
get
I know.
houses there?
Yeah, and I liked it, and
Okay, bro.
I enjoyed it. And then I saw The Cursed Child in London, and I liked Slytherin at that point.
Hey,
So
man. To each their own.
I'd say I'm torn. My sister is definitely a Gryffindor. Yeah,
Okay, no one says there's a law that you can't be friends with other houses. One of
true.
my best friends, Ray, is a Slytherin too, and
Yeah,
you know that I bleed. You know,
I'd
red and
say
gold.
I'm like somewhere in between. Like I wouldn't fit into one category. So
That's fair.
but
I've
it's a
taken a
house
couple of the
fluid.
tests, and it's
Fluid.
put me in other houses too, so I know how you feel.
Yeah.
I always get a mix between Gryffindor and Ravenclaw, and I always just thought I was more ballsy than that, but it's okay. So now let's get into our origins and world building, my friend. So could you tell your readers or future readers, the book features some fascinating magical beings. I'd like you to tell us about what inspired them and how you chose which ones to include.
So the thing is that I do believe like this is something that you've said to me. Like all stories are real, and they must have been based on something. So this is why there's every magical being imagined in this book. It's just not all of them are main characters. Some of them might be there in passing. Some of them might play a role in the story, like etc. But why I chose to focus on basically our main character is a gargoyle, and that's because I wanted to talk about the loneliness that some people feel because gargoyles are in nature lonely. They're stone hearted, they're stones. And they're really alone. They're out there in the night. But unlike vampires, they're not sexy. They're not seductive. People so they're ugly. And in our own human definition of what beauty is supposed to be. And I think this is a theme that keeps coming up in the book. Like, what is beauty, especially with Vidad's character, bullied for her looks. I'm digressing, but so I wanted to see the world from that perspective of something that's like even if it exists, I wouldn't want to meet a gargoyle. I wouldn't want to be one. It's not like vampires. It's not like werewolves. It's not like witches. Like I want to be a witch. I want to be a powerful witch. I want to be an immortal vampire. No one wants to be a lonely creature of the night that no one wants to,
But you wrote a book that made me want to be a lonely creature of the night.
that's
Because I
so cool.
mean,
That's
let's talk
the point.
about Robin basically being Batman.
He is. He definitely is. So the thing about Robin is that he is different from other gargoyles because he can turn into a man. And he's been alive for hundreds of years, so he's kind of a millionaire, obviously, and that makes
Hell
sense.
yeah.
From selling art and history, he's got he's got original Greek manuscripts at his home that he's collected. So he's really this badass character. But unlike Batman, he doesn't mind. So he doesn't have that code. So he's okay with killing. It's just that he's telling himself, I'm just killing criminals and I don't care about anybody. I don't love anybody. I'm incapable of love. But the thing is, he does love people. He loves Marcus, who is his best friend, but he just never tells Marcus that he's his best friend. To him, he just treats him like his manservant. Whereas this is literally his best friend and he cares about him and he loves him so much, he just can't say it because he's a gargoyle. He's supposed to have a heart of stone. He doesn't want to feel like him. Same for the girl that he's
I
gonna meet.
feel like though that Marcus knows. Like Reed knows Like, and that's why he does for him what he does for him. He
He would
doesn't do it out of like beneficial loyalty. Like that one scene, like Marcus knows, man. People don't just do what he did because, you know, they're being paid, you know?
Yeah, like, but he's not just being paid. So Marcus is actually the CEO of all of his companies of the Jacobs Enterprises,
Yeah.
and so he's technically he could just get rid of Robin and just go off on his own. Well, Robin would eat him, but but the thing is that he does love him deeply, and I think friendship is something really important to tackle, especially with Robin. So it's just like Batman loves his Robin, he loves his Alfred, he loves the girl of the week, and his Catwoman. Obviously, Robin is capable. He's just not there yet. He's not aware of who he is. He doesn't know who he is. And the whole point of the story is for him to reach that point of discovering that it's okay to love, it's okay to express yourself, it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's not okay to eat people.
I mean, a guy's got to eat, bro.
He could eat human food. He doesn't have to eat people. So
Guy's got to eat. All
yeah.
right, let's dive into your magic system. I mean, you chose something really unique with
Mm.
the phoenixes and the way that you talked about like the different kind of elements and how each element had like the like specific abilities. So what inspired you, and can you break it down for us, my man?
So basically, the magical system was inspired by the shows I used to watch, like Buffy and Charmed and all of that. But the thing is that I like that anyone is capable of some form of magic. It's something you can be taught, but it's also a gift that you have. For instance, if you're going to become a singer, you need to have a certain innate ability, like a beautiful voice. But if you're not taught, if you don't develop that voice and that stage presence and all of that, you're not going to be a singer. And the same is goes for magic. So in this universe, we've got mages, and the mages have four different symbols. You've got fire, and fire mages have offensive abilities like telekinesis, for example. But a fire mage will have one, at most two powers, if they're powerful enough. Then you've got wind mages, and wind mages are people like the wind. They will fly out there, as in they will have psychic abilities, most likely. You've got water mages who can, just like water is life, so water mages can possibly heal others. So they've got these defensive and curative abilities. Some water mages who are really strong can shapeshift because this is a form of camouflage. And then you've got the earth mages. So the earth mages are 99% of all mages, and they have no powers whatsoever. And this is where most people are. But the thing is that they can learn witchcraft. And
Okay.
that's where the 7 levels of witchcraft comes in, and only earth mages are capable of that. So the first level of witchcraft is just that you're just chanting and lighting candles and praying in some sense and hoping that this will actually amount to something. And most witches, like in the modern world, in today's world, that you would find would be actually level 1 earth mages, witches. And then as you grow, you start using more and more power by using a wand, and then by going wandless, eventually reaching a god tier Scarlet Witch level at the end of the day. And that's level 7. There are 7 levels to witchcraft. It's
Yeah.
just that no one's ever seen any witch past level 3 since the ancient Greeks.
Yeah, I
And that,
love that you wrote it this way to make it feel that the reader could really be part of this world. I think that that hook sometimes is what like gets people invested, and it was really important that you had this hook,
yeah, like you could be a witch in this world.
right?
Yeah,
I'd definitely be a sad ass level 1 witch, but still, I could be
maybe.
in it. That's me, man. That's me in your world, and I think that's exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the writing styles and challenges. You chose to tell the story in first person, and at one point, you balanced 4 to 5 different POVs. What inspired that choice, and what challenges did it bring? Would you recommend this style to other writers, or would you change it if you can go back?
So from the get-go, I knew this was not a one POV book. Personally, and again, I'm not judging anybody, I don't enjoy it when there's just one hero in a story. I just don't like it when there's just this one person who's doing everything and who's the hero, and that I know will survive to the end because I'm stuck in their POV. Because Cat, I love Hunger Games, but Katniss isn't gonna die. It's her story, it's her POV. I know she's not gonna die, no matter how much danger you put her in. Whereas like I could believe that people will die in Game of Thrones just because of the different POVs. A POV will end, but the story will pick up with another one. So this is why I felt the need for the different POVs for that reason. And secondly, because I don't want Clara to be meeting up with Andrew so that he can tell her what he did the other day and then go back into a flashback of Clara hearing it from Andrew's POV and all of that because we're stuck in Clara's. No, I want to see it in real time. I want to see things happen in real time. If there's an action scene, I want to be there. I want to see it. And I think people would enjoy that. So that's why. But the thing is, the POVs were limited to basically Clara, who is our main female character, Robin, our main male character. And we've had two smaller POVs in book one, which were Eric, because again, Eric was going through a very toxic relationship and he's the chosen one. So we had to see what he's doing because there's so much more to the story, and the villain. So the villain had to have his POV. Again,
You wrote a great villain, my man.
thank you. He's a very tragic villain, though. And
I wanted to punch his face every
yeah,
time I read him.
I think you hate him. You told me that more than once. But we always only see the villain once or twice in a book, and then at the end for the final battle, and just hear about what they do. Rarely do we see the villain in action, or do we hear about their perspective. I'm not saying people should empathize with Jonathan. They shouldn't. He's a bad person. But at least we understand where he comes from. We understand his pain. We understand he doesn't like doing what he's doing. He's not a victim because he's choosing to do it. He is a bad guy. But I was hoping that some of us might hope for him to have a redemption. I know you didn't, but some people have written to me to say that they were really hoping he would get redeemed at some point because
That bro killed so many people. There's no redemption.
I know. I'm not gonna spoil if he gets redeemed or not, but
He's
I'm
gonna be
just
so
gonna say
haram.
his heart is so black. So yeah, I know. But
I think he got it was justice.
I hated writing him. That's all I'm gonna say. It was traumatizing. It was exhausting. It was draining. It was like I had asphalt in my mouth writing him. Honestly,
But it smacked. I think you did a great job, bro.
thank you.
Now let's get more into one part of your book that I really enjoyed. Flashbacks are a huge part of your story,
Yeah.
especially for Robin. And am I saying his Lebanese slang correctly? Is it Bader or how do you say that name?
Well, basically, his real name is Khan, and that's his birth name. That was Khan. But his human name was so his gargoyle name is Khan. His human name is Robin. But eventually, with time, he adopted the name Badr, which means full moon,
Badr.
because yeah, to honor his fallen friend, the Arabian Peninsula, Badr, whose name was Badr. So he chose to take that name as his own, and basically. So
What inspired
flashbacks,
his backstory? And do you feel like the flashbacks accomplish what you set out to do?
I think the flashbacks are very important because to us, Robin or Badr is someone really stoic. He has no emotions. He's an asshole. He's a misogynist. He's a bad boy that has no redeeming quality whatsoever when you first meet him. So the backstory makes you understand that no, this is a poor, unfortunate soul, and he's been tortured so much that you just want him to just lighten up again. And basically that's the purpose of the flashback.
It
But
really does make you feel for him. At one point, I was reading about it. I was like, "Oh, that poor bastard!
yeah, but you've
Poor
seen nothing.
bastard. He's still a bastard. That poor bastard."
He's a bastard. So, but basically, it's gonna be like more light is gonna be shed on this and the Black Shards and then the Book of Life, and he's gonna suffer way more. And this is why eventually I decided to write To Love a Monster, which is a prequel story that's all about Robin's past. And so far, my beta readers, and they don't know that this is connected to the Jade Necklace or anything, have fallen in love with this character because he's such a sweetheart. So what made that sweetheart go into being this evil Batman person? Who is the entire story is about the redemption.
Okay, but he's not an evil Batman person. He's just
He
Batman.
kills people. He kills people.
He's Batman who eats people because he's
Yeah.
hungry and they're
Yeah,
bad.
I know. But the story is again about his redemption arc. So
That's great.
yeah.
So my next question was, let's talk about Robin in the present day. What do you think fuels him today? What makes him tick and keeps him moving forward after all this time?
Yeah, basically, I think he's lying to himself and thinking that I'm just living day by day just to eat people, have sex with anyone I want, and just make money. But I think deep down, what fuels him is I made a promise to someone a long time ago to keep going. I made a promise to protect Marcus Reed's bloodline and their life, and Marcus has kids, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep protecting them. And as long as that line exists, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be their guardian. I'm gonna, even though like at the end of the day, Marcus Reed is the one protecting Badr, but I think that's what drives him at first. But he's not aware of that. And then when he meets, the girl, I'm not using names. Basically, he channels that into wanting to protect her, to redeem himself from failing to protect the love that he lost. And he starts, blossoming again and blooming. And he starts realizing that he is full of emotion. He's just been lying to himself for centuries.
Yeah. It's nice when that all comes together,
Yeah.
So let's go on to our next character. So Clara stood out to me as the most substantial character. She's my favorite. Literally orphaned in the worst way imaginable, growing up in another country, then navigating the culture shock of college life in Lebanon. As someone part Lebanese, I found her perspective really striking. Why did you choose to tell Clara's story, and what inspired her character? Like her
So
inner thoughts feel so raw, judgmental, dramatic, but also considerate and deeply human. Like, she reflects on her family, her friends, her best friend's toxic girlfriend, and her complicated feelings for Eric. How did you go about writing such a layered and flawed but relatable voice?
so basically, Clara is literally a San Francisco girl who lost her family, found herself randomly trapped in Beirut as a 5, 6 year old. And then she was adopted into a Lebanese family who's telling her, "You're crazy. You're not American. You're just a Lebanese girl. You're just an orphan." And then she grew up in a village and then had to move to the big city to go to college. And her experience kind of reflects like my own, like Clara and her friends, their experiences reflect my own and my friends' experience in college. And because I'm a medical doctor, so I had to do pre-med. And those are my experiences at my university in such a way. And like, yes, she was judgmental at certain points, but she's trying her best. So when she's trying to change Widad, or when she's trying to protect Andrew, or when she's this is not coming from a bad place. This is coming from a good place, except that her good actions sometimes will hurt others. And I think at 20 years old, you're not really aware of that. You're not aware that something that you say in like, in good intentions might cause damage in another person. And again, her crush on Eric, that's I think really bad and damaging. She's in love with someone who is never gonna love her back, who's in love with someone else. And who hasn't been there? Who hasn't been in a one-sided relationship or a one-sided love at 19 or 20 or in college? And those are the experiences that shape us. I don't want to talk about a girl who just randomly meets her, knight in shining armor who's gonna like. I want to write about a girl who's making mistake after mistake after mistake. And when she does meet her knight in shining armor, it's because, first of all, she doesn't need a knight. So that's just a plus that he's a knight in shining armor. And secondly, because she's earned it because she's learned to love herself and love her friends for who they are. And that's a very long journey. And this is why I think the Jade Necklace is really like a super slow burn romance to the point where, like, do you even know who's gonna end up with whom?
No.
Exactly.
No,
It's
I
that.
had so many times I thought that Eric was going to just be like, you are a disgusting human being to his toxic girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to breathe the same air as you. I just wanted that for him so badly, and it never came. He just stood a baby back bitch to the end. Um,
Yeah.
but like, but Clara had like so much evolution. I really really loved her character. I just felt like you wrote a very human character, and her thoughts were not perfect. She's not meant to be likable. She's meant to be human, and you're supposed to see things in her that you don't want to see in yourself, but they're fucking there, bro.
They are
Like,
there.
I really really enjoyed Clara, and I think that you did such an incredible job on that. But on the subject of toxic girlfriends, could we talk about Gracie Marie? I know her name's Gracie. I know she also goes by her full name, Grace Marie. But what
Yeah.
inspired you to write such a destructive, magnetic character? And why does Eric even like her? Because I mean, like, yeah, she looks good, but she's got like bleached blonde hair and shit. God, I hate that girl. I wanted to punch
She
her right in
looks,
the throat.
first
I
of all,
wish Clara had that scene, bro.
yeah, when you were 20 and you looked at girls, did you care about their personality or what they looked like?
Cared about their personality.
Really?
I genuinely did.
I think most guys, honestly, at 20 would care about what the girl looks like. But then, so Eric is in love with Grace Marie because what we haven't seen is that she was nice times and she can have any guy she wants, and she picked him. And I think Eric, as someone like who, again, this is Lebanese culture. So Eric wants to be a writer, whereas everyone else, like amongst his friends, are in pre-med, and he's doing English lit. So again, in all Asian cultures, you're not allowed to pursue literature. You have to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. That's it.
Yep.
Anything else is seen as inferior. So Eric already has that, where he feels like I'm less than Clara, I'm less than Andrew, I'm less than Midad, I'm less than Grace, I'm less than Carmen, I'm less than everybody, because this comes from him being from West Asian culture, which is Lebanon. So the thing is that Grace Marie picked him, and she's nice to him so many times. So she knows how to be nice to get him to come to her. And then when he's there, she just pushes him away. And then he thinks maybe if I do things better, the niceness is gonna stay there for a longer time. And that's the whole thing about abusive. This is an abusive relationship. It's so toxic. It's so
Toxic.
abusive that you just want to
So
slap him.
manipulative.
If it weren't like obviously physical abuse is wrong, but like you'd feel like slapping him. And this is based on a real life relationship.
That poor bastard.
Yeah, but yeah, I know. So this is based on a real relationship. So basically, Eric's character is not based on that person specifically. He's an amalgamation of two people. So the person he's based on, the story of the person he's actually based on, picks up in the Black Shards, whereas in the Jade Necklace, the big bulk was Grace Maria's arc. So I kind of gave him a detour or something.
I'm looking forward to the Black Shards, my friend. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. So now, the real big bad. Let's talk about Jonathan. Why did you decide to make him a radical? And how did you shape him into such a chilling villain?
So Jonathan, I think, is basically, obviously he's gay, but he hates himself. He hates people like him. He hates people capable of magic. He hates everybody. But that's because he hates himself. He thinks his existence is a sin. Now, originally, Jonathan was a straight man who was in love with Jennifer Montgomery, and he was just trying to destroy the phoenixes. So, like, as you know, the whole story is about the phoenixes are here, they exist, they have all four elements, and they might destroy the world, they might save the world, we don't know. And Jonathan was not a radical. He was not gay. He was not homophobic. He did not hate himself. He did not do all of that. And I felt like he was kind of an empty villain. And then again, I'm like, why can't gay people be villains? Why do they have to always be super nice best friends who are sidekicks and who just either die just to drive the plot of the main character or lose their loved one? I'm looking at you, Taro, from Buffy, or are just there for comic relief. Why can't they be a villain? Is there a law against that? So the thing is that I really love the trope of lovers to enemies, and I had a chance to explore that with Jonathan and George, and they had a great love story. They were each other's great love, and now they're enemies. They're on opposing sides, and they still love each other in spite of that. And they're not 30, they're not 20, they're in their 50s, and they're in love. And it shows that love can last, but sometimes it cannot overcome all obstacles when you are radically different in belief systems. Jonathan thinks he's evil. He thinks that what he's doing is going to redeem him and George. So he's doing these sacrifices to save the life and the soul of the person he loves. Whereas the person he loves is fighting him to save him. And that's so tragic. They
Yeah.
still love each other.
I feel like he was definitely really well written. To have a character that you just dislike so much is such like, I mean, for me, it's a compliment. I personally feel like that's just such an incredible display of your writing ability and your world building ability to develop this character. Like his thoughts, they made sense knowing that he was a radical. His drive for like, I'm going to redeem myself in the the face of God by fulfilling this prophecy in the correct way. Like he really, really was just so well like driven and de- congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love to hate him.
I
But
love to
some
hate him.
people misunderstood him. So some people assumed that my views were homophobic or my views were whatever it was, like Jonathan's views. I think that's good and bad. Good because obviously that means the character is written well, but bad because that's not what I think at all. So, uh, but that was interesting.
Yeah, I think that people don't really like when it comes to self-published authors, like art creators, some of them have like this preconceived notion that like, you're putting yourself completely into the book. You're like a lot of self-published authors make their main characters like themselves. It's a little bit different. I don't know. I might cut this part out. I'm just saying, like, I think that they have this preconceived notion of how it's supposed to be and what it's supposed to be, that they're not truly open to the story. They're expecting something that's going to be simple, and you wrote a very like deep story with a lot of layers. And if people aren't willing to like enter that world and commit to that world, they might start out with preconceived notions. I mean, like, in the beginning, I really did not like Robin. And it was a character that truly grows on you as you read. And Jonathan, like, I love to hate him from the start. And I was like, this is a good ass villain. And Clara was just like a girl that I wanted to learn to understand. And as the story went on, you got to understand her layers. You got to see her grow. It was truly like a journey that you took us on. And I'm sad for the people that didn't take that opportunity to give your book the chance that it deserved. And if I could, bro, I would remove all those crappy, DNF reviews from your site that if possible, because they don't deserve to be there.
They didn't finish. Yeah, like some of those people did not even finish. They just like, oh, Jonathan hates himself because he's gay. I'm gonna stop. Just keep going. I have a point to make, you know. So yeah.
Truly. Now, let's get into something fun. Spoilers ahead. For anyone who hasn't read the book yet, now's your chance to pause the interview and grab a copy on Amazon. The Jade Necklace, Jad Phillip. I will be posting a picture of the book right here. So, Jad, let's talk about the prophecy. What are two ways it was interpreted, and why was that duality important to the story?
So basically, the prophecy is very vague on purpose. So you got the son killing the father, who's that? Who's the son, who's the father? The moon dies for the sun, S-U-N. Again, so is it the real moon? Is it the person? You've got the phoenix is burning as one. You've got the queen holding her instruments. So which queen? What instruments? And then the reaping will come. And the interpretation of the prophecy by some people is that by most people is that the world will end when the phoenixes burn as one. Because now, after millennia, the phoenixes are back. They exist again. They're born again. And they've got this incredible power. So they can actually destroy the world. But for Jonathan's interpretation, basically, the world's what's going to happen is that we're going to lose our chance at second coming. We're going to lose a chance for Jesus to come back and reap everybody's souls and all of that if this prophecy gets fulfilled the wrong way. For Jennifer Montgomery and George, who is Jonathan's lover, perhaps the prophecy is about change. So the reaping wouldn't mean the end of the world. It would mean the end of the world as we know it, in the sense of the end of what's bad in the world. The world might be a better place. The phoenixes might usher in a new dawn for this world. Now, which is right, which is wrong, I can't say because we don't really explore that in the Jade Necklace. I mean, the prophecy is obviously not fulfilled, and it won't be anytime soon, but it's all going to make sense. Also, there's another prophecy that comes up in the Black Shards that
I'm
I'm not
looking
going to
forward to
spoil,
that.
but it's related to the queen that's mentioned in the first prophecy because it's about two queens. So there are two of them, and which one is linked to the first prophecy is unknown, and who are the two queens again? So I'm gonna ask you to guess, and I'm not gonna react.
I think that Clara's definitely a queen,
Maybe.
and the other queen is her sister, bro, that we never got to see again. But
Didn't we?
we will find out.
Didn't we?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, we've met her sister.
Shit. Who is her sister then?
I'm not gonna spoil, but we've met her sister. She might be alive, she might be dead, but we've met her.
Did we truly meet her and recognize in the Jade Necklace? Okay, then we're fine.
Yeah, we've met her, but it wasn't even implied that this is her sister.
Good. Okay. So I did not pick up. Well, I didn't pick up on it obviously, but
It's a look and
I'm
Leia
looking forward to it tying together in book two.
It's a look and Leia situation, so brace yourself.
Okay.
Minus the incest. I insist.
So what are your favorite chapters personally?
Honestly, my favorite part was the end tale of the book, where the whole story comes together, because like I really wanted Robin to breathe on his own and Clara to breathe on her own before bringing those two worlds together. So when it all comes to head, that's my favorite part. There's lots of actions, lots of revelations. I'm hoping shocking revelations, and you've got all of these POVs that we've been hearing about finally converging onto this battle scene where we don't even know what the allegiances are. So I know who Robin is. I know what he wants. Clara doesn't. Again, I know who Clara is. Robin doesn't. And they all have to come into this battle, and it's all gonna clash. So that was really hard to write and really enjoyable as well because I love action scenes
She
the
was
most.
so pissed when he flew her away.
I was so pissed off. I know.
She
I know.
was
But
so pissed.
honestly, had Clara been there during the battle, the villains would have been toast in a second. She's too
Yeah,
powerful.
dude.
I had to
She's
get rid
she's
of her somewhat
definitely
more.
OP. She's definitely like anime level OP. But
Yeah,
um, but we're gonna probably find more about that in book two, and I think that's what's gonna make it so much more fun.
is it though? Just remember the final curse that was sent her way.
Bro, I just want her to kick all the ass. I feel like she deserves it after the shit she just went through.
I know, but like, I think the things you were hoping for did not actually come true. Like, you really wanted Robin to get Jonathan, you really wanted Clara to kick Isabel's ass, and those two things did not really happen.
It's
How
okay.
do you feel?
I feel like Gracie Marie definitely got what she deserved. And Jonathan definitely got what he deserved. And I was very happy
Mm,
because he's a monster and
yes,
there was no redemption to be seen. But I do feel like at the same time, you did give him a little bit of a heart at the end. Like it was still sweet in some way, a sick way, but like
that's a way.
it was good. It was a good ending. Um,
Yeah,
what about
and
your fight scenes? You got some pretty good fight scenes, my man. Any
yeah,
that were especially fun or challenging to write?
I would say the scene where Jonathan attacks Eric in his apartment, and then Clara comes to the rescue. That was really intense. I had so much fun writing that because it's literally Clara versus so many people. It's Clara versus seven people, and she's just gotten her powers. And obviously, she's been training for months. It's actually so they've just had their finals, so she's been training for the entire semester. But um, she's going up against some really like Jonathan and his goons literally massacred everybody at the Brotherhood. And those were powerful mages training all of their lives. And Clara needs to protect Eric, who still doesn't have any powers, even though he's the chosen one, which is crazy. And she has to conjure up some crazy batshit powers to do that. So that was really fun to write. So all of her training actually paid off.
It's a good scene, dude. It made me like it reminded me of like OP Willow from Buffy. Just
Yeah.
like the way she just tossed the mattress into the one dude,
Oh,
smashed him against the wall. That was awesome, man. It was very rewarding to read.
yeah, she did hold her own, but you know that in that scene, the original version, Andrew was there as well.
Did he die? Because that would have made sense. There's no way that she could have defended two people.
Andrew's fate was left unknown after that scene, but I took him out eventually. He
That's
wasn't wrong.
good. Yeah, I definitely would have been reading and been like, oh, he's dead. He's definitely dead.
No, I love Andrew. He's the sweetest. He's gonna have a great arc in the Black Shards.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's gonna come out. That's gonna be fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm so
Good for him, bro.
for him.
And finally, what can readers expect in book two, The Black Shards? Jonathan's work clearly wasn't finished. Should we expect someone else to pick up the mantle of radical psycho? What big bads are we looking at? And will Badra and Clara's stories continue?
Well, obviously, Robin slash Bedar's story and Clara's will continue, but unlike book one, they're going to be in the same place. So they're going to interact so much more, and their like hate and not love hate, their like hate relationship is going to be really explored. I think the Black Shards is more, it's so the Jade Necklace is more of urban fantasy. The Black Shards is a romantasy because it's got this we're gonna really explore romance. I'm not gonna say who and who, but we're gonna have at least two or three couples to explore and root for in the Black Shards, and it's all organic stuff. What I would say is that Clara's search for her family is and her sister especially is gonna really pick up. Clara's training is gonna pick up, and the love story is definitely gonna play a part finally. But the book is going to focus, it's going to be more focused to some characters that were, like uh, kept to the sides in book one, like Isabel, she's going to have a major part. And so will Andrew. Those two are going to get major parts in book two. For the villains, I would say, no, we just get one psycho, except that Isabel is still alive and she's still out there. Her wand is broken, but doesn't make her less of a threat. She's got to learn new ways to do magic. But the main villain of the overall series, who's been alluded to, is going to play a major role in book two. We're gonna meet our Voldemort finally.
Oh,
And
goodness.
yeah, and that's gonna be so much fun.
I'm so excited, my friend. Thank you again for taking the time to meet with me today. Everybody, this is my
My
friend
pleasure.
Jad Phillip, author of the Chosen and the Curse series. If you haven't yet, go out and get the Jade Necklace. If you read the Jade Necklace, get yourself the Black Shards and buy the rest of the books. They're all available on Amazon and definitely worth it. Don't forget the Crimson Crown coming December 7th, 2025. Jad, do you have any last words for us, my friend?
I just want to say thank you so much, and I just love the parallels between our books.
They're really fun, man. It was super cool that we both had Andrew and Eric in our books.
Yeah,
And I love
exactly.
that we're both urban fantasy. It's very fun to be able to explore a world like that.
Speaking of which, I've had an angel in my book who's an Nephilim, but and the character is actually there. It's still the character is still part of the book. I just never revealed what they were.
Ooh, so
Yeah.
we might find out who this is in book 2. I'm very excited. Like, no,
Yeah. Okay, thank
that's
you.
awesome, bro. Thanks again.
You're welcome.